Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. And today we want to take a look at the Queen Charge Dragon Rider army composition, but this time around we're going to take a look at a ton of different base layouts and how you should approach those different layouts, how you should approach those different style of bases, because Queen Charge Dragon Riders are actually quite different if you compare this, for example, to Queen Charge Lalo, where most of the people would most likely say those two strategies are kind of similar. So we're going to take a look at a ton of different styles of bases, so I think we should just get started and see how all of those are going to be, well, easily getting 3 stars. So first base, this is kind of like one of those box style bases, and whenever you're taking one of those, the first thing what you should always do, just blimp the eagle. I tried a ton of times that starting your queen on the eagle, like in front of the eagle, and then just like letting her walk whatever side, blimp the eagle, whatever, it's not really working. The time is just like, it's taking too much time. So what you're doing instead, you're dropping the blimp for the eagle and then starting the queen on one of the flanks. The important thing is that you need to time your Cocodoons to take down the second layer air defense if there's any air defense on the second layer. Otherwise, you might have a huge problem with your healers because, well, those healers need to stay alive. And the second layer air defense is not the greatest thing to face. So for us, everything worked fine. We cleared the entire top side eagle compartment. And that's already it. The next thing what you're going to do is queen charge into the flank of the base. That's like the next big objective. With this charge, typically you're getting the clan castle lure. Yes, you're facing a ton of damage, but this still is looking really good. The next thing is going to be like a flanking to flanking to flanking thing, because you're using the queen on the flank of the blimp and the king on the flank of the queen. And one thing, you want to clear this bottom compartment, because this is allowing you for your queen first to queen charge even deeper inside the base without having anything on her flank to shoot her. And the second thing is you're clearing the bottom side compartment, and this means you can easily layer another time into the core with your next wall break. This gives your queen even more power, and that's exactly what you need in attacks like this. Always remember though, with this attack strategy, use your headhunters. If your king is facing the enemy king, always remember, just add one small headhunter and your king is taking way less damage. It's a huge thing, and as soon as you did that, this might look risky, but actually it's not. The strength of Dragon Riders, and I feel like that's kind of the secret right now, which I didn't know in the beginning. I was horribly failing on bases and attacks like this, but as soon as I figured out that, well, facing the town hall is not a bad thing at the end of the attack for Dragon Riders, that's totally fine. Like one rage, one freeze, one invisibility spell, and the town is already down because they're dealing so much damage. And the next thing is, Black Mines now they're just spread out and trying to defend against blimp attacks, which means most of the time you can block like 2 or maybe even 3 Black Mines at the same time with your Warden ability, because they're always stacked on top of each other to make sure that they're one-shotting a blimp. And because sometimes you need so many Black Mines, there are sometimes even 3 Black Mines next to each other, because those blimps are so hard to be baited, because Black Mines are so unreliable. They're so slow, sometimes they're chasing the blimp forever, so that's always kind of risky, I would say. But at the same time, this approach always has worked for me so far on those box bases. Now let's take a look at the diamond shaped bases. This is more tricky because there are a lot of different versions out there. But we have like this more fancy style. Sometimes we have like those classic box diamond shape style, kind of similar to what Gaku was running like way earlier back then on Channel 13. You know, this one really common base, which we have attacked a ton with P.E.K.K.A. Smash. That's what I'm talking about, or bases like this. Whatever you're doing, always and nearly always try to charge on the eagle side. Yet again, we have the same approach as we just had with trying to take down the eagle and then having the Dragon Rider start on the opposite side of the town hall and just like flying all the way and taking down the town hall. It's risky, or it looks risky, but it's actually not. So what are we doing on this one? First off, we're queen charging on the outside of this eagle compartment. We want to have our queen into the bottom compartment. Your achievement, your goal basically with this strategy, with this approach, is to get a great pathing for the Dragon Riders. As soon as the pathing for the Dragon Riders is spreading too much, they're actually not that strong and they're getting kind of weak because they're splitting. It's more likely that they're hitting black mines. So if you keep their path really narrow and make sure that they're not like getting distracted anywhere, it's less likely that they're hitting black mines. And this is kind of the key thing. For example, always think about where would you blimp, for example, as well, if you have some time to spare, and then you can maybe dodge a couple of black mines or even trigger it with the with the loon. So what we did on this one, I got my king into the eagle compartment and then I warbreak into the scatter. Right now I'm doing a small mistake which I was not really thinking about, and I did not thought about that this slammer would open up the wall for the king. So the plan was to get the king into the compartment of the scatter, but now king and scatter are switching places, so everything is still fine, and we have our path for the Dragon Rider. This is so far looking perfect. You can see right now from the ground expo, those Dragon Riders are going straight into the Tesla and then straight into the direction of the tunnel. This so far is looking perfect for us. The king even is doing already the cleanup on the outside, so this is totally fine. Not the worst that it went to the that the king went to the outside. Our queen is still alive. We have another freeze for the town hall. We have another invisibility spell. The invisibility spell, compared to, for example, Queen Charge Hybrid or Queen Charge Lalo, is even for the second phase of the attack, which is the Dragon Riders, really strong because they are a ranged troop. And this means you can use the invisibility spell kind of nice, and you can see this is such a crazy overkill. This approach works on every single diamond shaped base. You just have to create the pathing. Basically take half of the base with your heroes, which is king and queen most of the time. You can use the royal champion as well, and then use the other side with the town on the back end with your Dragon Riders. And now we're getting to the ring bases. I have actually two in this one because even though we not really needed the blimp just yet, the Yeti blimp most of the time is the stronger siege machine for us in Legends. It's more flexible because on Dragon Rider attacks, if you just blimp with the Yeti blimp like an air defense or things like that, it's already fine. But you have not this option with running like a dragon and a loon blimp, or like running a slammer with like another Dragon Rider or things like that. You're not that flexible. And for example, on this ring base, it was really nice to try to lure out the clan caster early, take down the eagle early, and create pathing with this approach. And we cleared the entire compartment, and with this we can warbreak into the core, because now we're getting to the first and most important step when you're facing a ring base, and that's always take down the town hall. On all of those other bases, which is like the box bases from the beginning or like the diamond shaped bases, you always go for the eagle. The eagle is the more important thing. But when you're facing a ring base, the most important thing is that you're charging the town hall, the core of the base. Because if the town hall is in the middle of the attack of the Dragon Riders, they have no chance in that poison. This poison is just wrecking your Dragon Riders. As long as you can make sure that this town hall is down by when the Dragon Riders actually reach their town hall, then it's perfect. If you can take the eagle on this path towards the town hall, then it's even better. If you can make that. Obviously, that's not like the go-to, but that's kind of like the second objective which you're going for. So that's what was exactly what we just did. Sending in now the Dragon Riders. The poison of the tunnel, yes, it's now ticking everything. At the same time, as the Dragon Riders are now approaching the area of the town hall, poison should be gone. So that's no problem whatsoever. Yet again, sending, like, never forget your headhunters, always send them in everything. And at this point, maybe the Dragon Riders were maybe even a little bit early, but they're taking just a ton of damage right now. But at the same time, they have split up just a bit. We have a ton of cleanup troops on the outside, so that's totally alright. And we have our queen still alive, in addition with this invisibility spell, which we can use at any point if we want to protect anything. And one quick reminder, obviously, this base is not maxed yet. So for example, we see how low all of our Dragon Riders are. They're splitting up the damage. This one Dragon Rider was really low on hit points, which is getting shot in just a second. There we go. So this is obviously, as soon as bases are getting maxed out, Dragon Riders will become a little bit more weaker. And obviously, as soon as people are going to figure out how to defend against them, which is just like trying to spread around those black mines just a little bit more. And yeah, maybe this means blimps are getting stronger again, which is like a blizzard, for example. So that's kind of like an interesting topic anyways, but that's not the topic of this video. Let's talk about that in the future maybe. Next base. This one is yet again another ring base. And this one around, I wanted to put this in the video because I see this a ton of times right now that people are stacking their X-bows. They're stacking their X-bows on one side of the base on ring bases. And one of the best counters which you can do on those is, even though it sounds stupid, but just charge the X-bows. This sounds completely stupid and it's really risky because you really need to make sure that your queen is staying alive. But as long as you can do that, there's no more damage in this base. It's crazy. And let's take a look how I'm actually doing this. Yes, there's a lot of damage on this queen right now, but somehow she is staying alive. You could just use the ability in the beginning. Obviously, I could just use the invisibility spell, a freeze, whatever, just to keep the queen alive. I'm right now taking the risk of my queen staying alive. It's paying off because I did not have to burn my queen ability. I'm still saving it. And at this point, I just can like keep freezing the thing Inferno Tower. And even though we have already invested like 2 rages, and we probably have to invest another rage in just a second, yes, that's a ton of investment. But at the same time, we have taken out already 3 or 4 of the X-bows. We're about to take down the second multi-Inferno Tower, or the second Inferno Tower of all, and the Town Hall. I take this any day. And the next great thing, and the next thing which you should look out for in general, is you really do not want to face sweepers with your Dragon Riders. Sweepers, air sweepers, are just super annoying to deal with because first, you normally want to use your spells for the queen, which means rages or like freezes for the sweepers are typically not what you have in store for those. So making sure that the sweepers are not pointing into the direction of the Dragon Riders is another important thing. We have to right now use the queen ability just to keep her alive. There is yet again one of those super annoying mass archer CCs, which especially is annoying against those E-Dragon attacks, which were like really popular for a short amount of time. But I feel like with like everyone now running those mass archer clan castles, E-Dragons are not that powerful anymore. If you're having issues right now in Legends against E-Dragons, just use 45 archers. It might surprise you how good you're going to defend against E-Dragons. Either way, we're taking a look at this approach, and yet again, the queen is staying alive in the core, taking out everything, and then we have the Dragon Riders around the outside and taking care of everything else. Yet again, if you want to run Queen Charge Lalo, it's a little bit different, but at the same time still incredibly strong. In my opinion, stronger than Queen Charge Dragon Riders, but it's just so much more difficult that not everyone can obviously execute those. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you really learned something new about this strategy, on how you should approach different styles of bases. Let me know if there's any other style out there which I have not discussed in this video, but I feel like the biggest and the most common types of bases we had in this video. So either way, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.